Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. This is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, the market has certainly changed in the last year, causing some people to wonder if their house will sell quickly and at a good price. Many home sellers want to bet on the sure thing, a cash buyer, versus a buyer getting a loan. Do home sellers get less money when they're selling to a cash buyer versus a traditional buyer?
Well, Richard, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. It kind of depends on the house and what the seller's needs are. And I think the automatic assumption for most home sellers is that investors are trying to steal their house for a deep discount, but those are not our cash buyers. Our cash buyers are paying a pretty fair price for these homes. They have a fee that's a little bit more expensive, I think, than the traditional sales process, but they make it very easy for people. There's some people that are really not in a position to do traditional sales, like if they had a disability and it's just too hard for them to make the house show ready, or just to deal with buyer after buyer coming through your house, judging your home. This kind of process really is a great program for people like that. The other thing too is with the home sale process, it actually is a very large project. It's not the same as selling a car that maybe you go so far as to take it to a detailer and have it cleaned up and tune up the oil, and that's about it. However, when it comes to selling a home, um, people are going to scrutinize every little thing about the home. They're typical come and look at the home and make an offer type of buyer is the one that's gonna, they criticize homes for the dumbest reasons, like, oh, well, I could hear the traffic, which I think is crazy. It's like, okay, I live 3 miles east of I-25 and I can hear the traffic at night, right? I certainly can't hear it inside my house. I can't hear it even if the windows are open unless it's late at night and everything is quieted down. I think they're just making up stories of why it wasn't the right home for the buyer. And I think there's a lot of agents that are kind of weak on handling objections. And maybe they should tell them, hey, at this high elevation, thinner air, noise is going to travel a little further. So anyway, they just don't know how to do it. So let's kind of talk about sort of the process of selling your home. We'll run through some of the steps, when you should do it, and when is a good time? The first step really is, do I need to talk with a real estate agent about selling my home? A lot of people want to know that. They want to get a pretty good idea what their home will sell for in this market, and maybe they're not ready, and that's okay. But generally, 2 to 6 months prior to your planned move, it could be later. I've met with people that were 3 years out that just wanted to get an update plan for their home. So they were ready when it was time to move, and they ended up moving a lot sooner than that. Um, and before we meet, what we like to do is kind of get a feel for your opinion of any improvements that you've done to the home. What are your goals? If we could find that out, when and where are you going? And that way we can really research the home before we get there and show up with really good data to give you a really good idea what your home will sell for in its price range. And then we can take a look at the whole home. That's the next step, and give you good tips on what to do and what not to do to be prepared for selling your home. And of course, as always, we go over about how much you put in your pocket when it sells. And so when we meet, we actually talk about your goals, when you're planning to move. Of course, it's a free service and you're never obligated. And you'll get that really good idea of what the market's doing right now, what your competition looks like right now, what have similar sized homes sold for. We can also take your home and present it to our 64 high net worth buyers and get offers. We show up with offers. Nobody else does that, which is pretty exciting. And that gives you kind of a good idea too on other options. It doesn't always have to be the traditional sales process. And when we first meet, of course, There's no reason to make your house look amazing. Don't even worry about that, because typically we're not taking pictures on the day that we meet, especially not marketing photos. We'll actually help you get ready for marketing photos. But just when the agent's there, we can look past all that stuff. I've seen thousands of homes. And so don't worry too much about that. People get all upset and go, I didn't get time to clear off the bed. I'm like, it doesn't matter. We're not taking pictures today. So don't worry about those little things. So if you are thinking of making a move and you'd like to get a really good idea of what your home will sell for, go ahead and go to Barb Has the Buyers, reach out to us, or call us at 719-301-3900. So when we approach the sale of the home, we're not like the rest of the real estate agents out there. Most of them get the pictures, throw it in the MLS, and hope and pray somebody else has a buyer. We go a lot further than that. We go over all of our marketing systems, and the whole idea is designed to create demand. And we can also, if you decide to move forward with us, we get permission to go ahead and get more offers from our cash buyer. And that way you know exactly whether or not you could accept the cash buyer or no, move on to the other retail buyer and choose that option as well. And there are a lot of home sellers that actually worry about signing long-term agreements, especially if it's not working. And there actually is a provision in the contract that says if you don't believe that your agent is doing what they promised to do, you can terminate. Of course, the problem with the state forms is there's nothing in there about what the agent's promising to do. Mostly it's what they're promising not to do. So you have to be very clear, and I would recommend that you get it in writing, what your agent is actually promising to do for you. We go further than that. We actually provide a satisfaction guarantee. We give you an opportunity to cancel if we don't perform. There's all kinds of options available to you. We also have all kinds of checklists, so you have certainty on what's going to happen and what you need to do next. We'll give you good information as well as professional guidance on how to prepare your home for sale, how to prepare your home for photo day. And then we start marketing to our buyers in waiting and start sending out photos and videos to our cash buyers so that you have all the best options when it's time to sell your home. And whether or not you accept a cash offer or the traditional sales route, you will have certainty and clarity that your home is absolutely sold. And when we meet, some people are kind of worried about inspections, which I totally get that. Inspections are interesting, especially if you're dealing with an outside agent. Many times these agents, they are asking for stuff from day one until the finish line. What about this? What about that? I want that. This isn't done to my satisfaction. That is what they think they're supposed to be doing, is like the little yapping dog on your heel the entire process. But basically, we try to solve those problems in advance. So if you opt in to our certified pre-owned home program, you can get ahead of problems. Some common things that we have come up in this market all the time are hail damage on roof, which is a big project to deal with that. Most of them are covered by insurance, but parts of it are not. And most sellers really need time to shop around to get the best contractors to help them with that kind of challenge. Another system that we see failing an awful lot, if they have a septic system or a sewer line, those are big ticket items that you absolutely want some time to shop around. So if you choose our pre-inspection program, you're ahead of the problem, because I know from experience that a majority of sellers, the last thing they want to do is they go under contract, they're all happy thinking, yay, my home is sold. All right, we're getting to the finish line. And then the buyer's agent brings in an inspector, an unlicensed inspector, mind you. And then the buyer comes back and demands these major system repairs that really kind of put the whole process in doubt. And they also create another large project on top of moving to deal with these major repairs from contract to closing. So I think it's really smart to opt to our certified pre-owned home program, because you get ahead of that problem and it makes the process smooth and everything happens on time. So we try to just eliminate all the chaos. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. I'm also the host of the show, Your Real Estate Voice. And we're talking about how you know your home is sold. And next up, we're going to be covering some things that you can do to prepare your home to get sold. And you're totally confident it's going to closing right away. If you want to check us out or give us a call, you can go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Right now, I have over 27,892 registered buyers just on my little website looking for homes, and I can match 700 buyers to just about any home. If you are thinking of making a move and you want to give an in-home consultation on what to do and what not to do, give us a call, 719-301-3900, or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
We're talking, Barb, about how a home seller knows their home is sold, whether they decide on a cash offer or a traditional sales process. Barb, tell us about how homes are sold with your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty program.
Well, if you decide to go down the traditional sale route, then you don't really know your home is sold. In fact, I remember last year I sold a home that was a former Marine infantry officer, really cool guy, he and his wife. And he wanted certainty. It was very clear to me he wanted certainty. He also wanted the highest price, which is a whole nother story. But when I explained the process, I was sitting there with multiple offers and I thought he would be happy. But he wasn't happy. He said, no, you don't get what I said, Barb. I said, I want the most money. What are you going to do to get me the most money? And I was actually a little intimidated by that question, but I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm challenged. And so I thought about it. I went back to both buyers, played mom against dad, and got both of them up substantially. And then I explained to them the higher offer of the two, you still don't have certainty that you're going to get that amount of money because you have to go through the inspection and the appraisal. And he looked at me and he goes, seems to me you're just wallowing around in the mud and then finally you go to closing. Is that right? And I said, yeah, that's a great description. That's exactly what happens. So he had a choice between a financed offer and a cash offer that was a little bit less than the financed offer. He went for the cash offer because he wanted that certainty. He didn't want to wallow in the mud with all the crazy stuff that happens contract to closing. There are actually 33 different systems that get scrutinized during inspections. Then you have to worry about appraisal. Then you have to worry about the walkthrough. And I can tell you that other real estate agents during the process are going to gripe for concessions all the way until the end. So it makes it, it puts certainty in doubt. It makes the sellers absolutely crazy, and me too at the same time. So opting for a cash deal might be better for people because they don't have to worry about repairs. But if they do, I have to prepare them for what they can expect all the way through the process. Either way is fine. We're prepared for both. We have checklists and systems to make it easy for them. That way there are no surprises all the way through the entire system. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker, host of the program, and she is with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. If you're thinking of making a move, call Barb, 719-301-3900, or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking about the top 3 ways to get top dollar when you do sell your home. Stay tuned for that.